So good morning, my name is William Benko. I welcome you to this 8th workshop on governance. And the person to my right is primarily responsible for this. He's got wonderful people who work with him, and I'll introduce him in a minute as he looks a little bit beyond himself. I'd like to take this moment to welcome some of our distinguished guests. I would like to welcome Ambassador Tove Skarstein, who is from the Royal Norwegian Embassy. Our distinguished guest, Dr. Tamaika Tillemann, who's Senior Advisor to the Secretary for Civil Society, if you're taking notes, I'll speak slowly, for Civil Society and Emerging Democracies with the U.S. Department of State. That will certainly be the longest title we have here today. I'd like to welcome Robert J. Riley, we call him Bob, Chargé d'Affaires from the United States Embassy. I would like to welcome Mr. Jean Medici, who is from the Prime Minister's office, and I'd like to invite all of you. I think today is going to be a fun session. I've known several of these people for a long time, had a wonderful time last night with Dr. Tamaika Tillemann. Great stimulating conversation, and I think that's going to carry over into today's program. This whole event, or this series, was started back in 2006 by the AmCham Governance and Transparency Committee, which is currently chaired by László CZIRJÁK. And it rings true to the mission statement of AmCham, where we are committed to making the landscape of doing business for not only businesses, but also for civil society, civil organizations, NGOs. We want to do everything we can to make it a level playing field. And we want to make sure that it's transparent, there's accountability, and people understand when they give, and they give through us and through organizations, many of which are represented here, and are also members of AmCham, that they can feel 100% rest assured that when they are asked for money, that money goes for purposes that are defined and for what they donate the money for. And I can honestly say, in the years that this organization has put itself and its weight next to this topic, we have made significant inroads. I know because László and I have worked together at United Way 10 years ago, and where Hungary is today in this topic is significantly further ahead than where it was 10 years ago. And I think you can check, or you can assess the progress of the democracy on how it treats that sector of society. So it's not my job, this is not my event, so I'm not here to talk, but I would like to say one thing, and that is that this organization continues to do wonderful work, AmCham, because it's supported by incredible people, and there are some incredible pillars of strength that keep this organization alive and moving forward over the years. And when I say this, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, that one of those pillars is László CZIRJÁK, who I will hand the microphone over to a moment from now. And it is because people like him who have dedicated their time, their money, their energy, thought cycles, brain power, you name it, whatever you want it. And they do it without a handout awaiting compensation, but because there's a small flame burning in their hearts to make this, and not only this, but any part of the world that they may occupy, a better place to live. And so it is with great honor and pleasure that I hand over the microphone to one of those pillars of strength of AmCham, László CZIRJÁK.
Willie, you're too kind, and this is about a team effort to make an impact, to make things refined and work together. So let me first start by thanking all who are involved in this effort. Particularly like to thank the AmCham volunteers in the NGO working group. I'd like to name a few of them. And I hope at the end of the day, we will have even more partners in this effort. And that's what it's all about today. So, AmCham Foundation, obviously, CZIRJÁK, thank you. Citibank, Jolor, Bromer. Let me just read the names of the institutions. Chodalampa Foundation, the other volunteers, Peter Kazar, András Hanak, Kozari Vilmos, Process Solutions, who's been also helping, Price Waterhouse, thank you very much. Startup Communications, SOS Jaramekfo, Sechkai Law Firm, who is sponsoring the event today, so thank you, Sechkai. Tom Lantos Institute, thank you very much, and United Way Hungary, thank you. So, welcome also to all the panel guests, the special guests, and a special thanks also to the AmCham staff, in particular Judith Silaji. Could you stand up, Judith, please? She has done an amazing job helping coordinate this, and I really want to thank you very much. We couldn't do it without her, and all the staff. So, there are three, I call them leadership sectors in society. I realize now those in the middle can't really see this, but maybe you can. Government, the private sector, and civil society. Why is AmCham doing anything involving governance, integrity, involving these sectors? Well, it's about the future. We, as one of the private sector pillar, believe that it's in our interest to help create leadership, reinforce leadership that will be good leaders. And one of the things we discovered is that one of the channels we can do this through is academia. Academia trains not only business leaders, not only public leaders, but also NGO leaders. Actually, I have to share with you a bit of a disappointment today. We were hoping for more professors today, but for various technical reasons, people were traveling, some of them were home, but also some of the universities said we just don't really deal with this topic. I hope we can change that. So, what we're trying to do is create content and a network for academia so that they can go and teach and research better on all the topics. The committee has done a lot of work in the private governance area. We're doing some work in the government transparency area, and also now, finally, the third pillar in the NGO transparency area. We're writing a position paper, which we will share some of the results, or rather the recommendations. These are still draft. This will be at the end. And we hope to engage you, join us, help us make better recommendations, the best, so that we can recommend to government, to private sector, and to NGOs on what each of us should be doing to, as Lily said, build the confidence in the NGO sector so that it can succeed. It can succeed and be strong, can succeed and also be independent-minded and be successful in Hungary. So, let me share a couple things we've done. Very quickly, this committee, we created these governance workshops. You are participating in the 8th governance workshop. We, over the years, have touched 23 universities and 166 unique professors. Now, I couldn't believe this when I first saw this. I said, this can't be right. 166, isn't there a duplication here? They triple checked. No. Over the years, we have touched 166 professors in Hungary. We have given them content. We have given them content for teaching, for research. I think that's great. Let's continue. We created a board simulation, a content. We created a case study. Again, you can see the impact. Also, we have had a grant program. This is on the corporate side. Maybe we should do this on the NGO side. To create a grant program to encourage universities to start corporate governance teaching courses. And you can see the result. And we have some publications, some of them outside. We're on a roll here, as you can see. I'm a venture capitalist, and this, by any means, is a growth curve. And that's good. And this year we're going to break that record. So that's what it's all about. Now, you know, we have to work together. And unfortunately, in Hungary, and also it's not just Hungary, but I do a lot of regional investment and travel. And I discovered that there's a saying that is the same in Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Slovenia, Hungary, Slovakia. And the saying is, say it in Hungarian first, Dögölje meg a szomszédtáj, which means that the neighbor's cow should die, but there's more to it. It's because I don't have a cow, the neighbor's cow should die. So what I did was I said to my son, we were skiing, he loves to draw, he's 12 years old, or 13 now, and I said, can you just draw the situation in Hungary? And so he did. He drew this in 1 minute. Okay? And it's unfortunate, but it's not just Hungary. And I believe that in order to make a step, to really go past the tipping point, we need to work together better. This is my new motto. Forget about this. So I said to my son Adam, I said, Adam, what should it be like? Again, he drew this in 1 minute. And I told him I'm going to present it, so he said, oh, let me put my signature on. So I hope by the end of today, we can all be like this, which I'm sure we can, and are, and want to be. So without further ado, let me now pass over the microphone to Chargé Bob Riley. Thank you.